Imagine you connect to a public Wi-Fi network, you open your laptop, you don't download anything, you don't click any suspicious link, but someone sitting on the same network can still capture your Windows login credential. Here, I'm gonna show you how someone can capture your Windows authentication hashes, even use them to access your system. This demonstration is strictly for educational and ethical hacking purposes only. Everything you see here is demonstrated inside a controlled virtual lab environment. Never attempt this technique on networks you don't own or have explicit permission to test. So here I'm gonna talk about Responder. It is one of the most powerful tools used for internal network penetration testing. It exploits weak network protocols like LLMNR, NBT-NS. Well, these are the protocols designed for Windows to find devices on the local network, but unfortunately they can also be abused. In simple terms, responder is a poisoner. It listens for and poisons the request from protocols like LLMNR and BTNS. Don't worry if this protocol sounds unfamiliar. Just drop a comment below if you would like separate deep dive video on these protocols, what they are and how they work. Okay, let's get started. So here I'm gonna start my responder to keep it in listening mode, and you can see I'll use -IITS0 flag to specify my Ethernet interface. As I mentioned, this only works within the same network. And for this demo, I'm using my own virtual lab setup. Well, you can see our responder is in listening mode. Let's play the role of the victim for a while our responder is in listening. So here I'm gonna use Windows 10 as a target operating system. And let's try to access a random network share folder. This share folder could be anything. This is the key point. It doesn't even have to exist. It's not a real share folder belonging to anyone, not even the attacker. And you can see it's prompting me for a username and password. And now you might be thinking, who would actually give their username and password? And you are absolutely right, that would be a bad idea. But let me explain why this happens. When you try to access some random network share, your computer first tries to resolve the name by using standard methods like DNS. If DNS fails, it often falls back to the less secure LLMNR and NBT-NS protocols. And it broadcasts the request to the entire local network by asking, hey, does anyone know where this share folder is? And that moment, responder comes in place and it maliciously responds to the broadcast request. Hey, the share you are looking for, it belongs to me and I'm the share. And it tricks your system into sending authentication attempts to the attacker where respond is listening. And for this demo, I'm gonna give my username and password. And you can see, as expected, it throws an error because the share doesn't actually exist. But let's have a look at the attacker side where our respond is listening. And you can see we have captured the username, the machine IP address, and most importantly, the NTLM version to password hash, exactly what we were waiting for. And now we have the hash, but we need the plain text password to proceed. And to crack it, I'm gonna use John the Ripper tool. But let's save this password hash into a .txt file to make it easier. And the command is echo password hash. And I'm gonna give hash.txt file name where I want this hash to be. And now we have the hash file. And let's use the command john hash.txt. Depending on the password strength, it may take seconds to a year. And in this case, John has successfully cracked it. And now we have the plain text credential. And now it's time to interact with target operating system. But before that, we're gonna have to make sure one more thing, which is whether the target system has IPC share enabled or not. Well, IPC share is a Windows hidden service used for inter-process communication and is often enabled by default. And for that, you're gonna have to type the command -u username %password -l and the target machine IP address. And you can see the connection is successful, which means the port is open. And now we are good to proceed. Now let's use the WinX tool to get a terminal session on the Windows machine. And the command is winxe-u username %password target machine IP address and the cmd.exe. Well, cmd.exe is optional thing. If you would like a Windows terminal banner, then you have to give cmd.exe flag. So I'm gonna go with cmd.exe, and you can see we are in. Let's try some commands. we are really inside the target machine or not. Sysinfo ifconfig, or let's try in which directly are we currently. And you can see we are in. And from here, we can exfiltrate the data, we can upload malwares, or even we can perform various malicious actions. This is how someone can capture a Windows login credentials and can even use them to get a shell on your machine and can exfiltrate the data, can do anything, whatever you want. But does this really works without any requirement or without any services to be enabled? The short answer is yes, especially when the target system has weak password and has SMB sign-in not required, which is common in workgroup environment. Okay, let's talk about how you can protect yourself from such kind of attacks. Disable unnecessary services like LLMNR, NBT-NS if possible. Use strong password which can never be cracked or infeasible. Or disable SMB unnecessary services or enable SMB signing to prevent relay attacks. That's all for today, and I hope you liked this video and you learned something new. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video to your friend who might think accessing unknown network share is harmless. And we'll see you in next video.